Hi class, in this video we're going to be doing some practice on finding the missing terms in equivalent ratios. So first things first, I'm going to show you how to do it with the constant of proportionality. So recall if I had a to b as a ratio, I'm going to get the equation a equals to k times b, and from that equation I can derive that k would be equal to a divided by b, where A is the first entity on the left-hand side of the ratio and B is the entity on the right-hand side. So for this one here, I don't know what X is, but I know that these are equivalent ratios. But I know that 5 to 3, I can get the constant of proportionality from that. So my constant of proportionality will be 5 over 3, which in this case would be 1.6 repeating as well. Now, what that means is my constant of proportionality here must be equal to x over 24. And since I know what k is, I can say that 5 over 3 would equal to x over 24. Now, in this case, let's think about it this way. What number can I multiply 3 by in order to get to 24? And that number would be 8. And what I do to the bottom of this fraction, I have to do to the top. So I'm also going to multiply 5 by 8. Now in this case, 5 times 8 is going to be 40. So that means x must equal to 40. And now we can check if our k values are going to be equal. So if my k value now is x over 24, but x over 24 is just 40 over 24, if I reduce this, do I get 5 over 3? Well, if I divide the top and bottom by 8, I do get 5 over 3. So that means, yeah, x does equal to 40. Okay, excellent. Now let's move on to our second example. Here I'm given x to 28 is going to be a ratio that is equivalent to the ratio 2 to 7. So in this case here, for 2 to 7, my k value is going to be equal to 2 over 7. So hence, I'm going to have a k value here of x over 28. And since the k values must equal, I can say that x over 28 is going to be equal to 2 over 7. Okay, now for this one, I'm going to ask myself a question here. How did I get from 7 to 28? So if I multiply 7 by 4, I should get 28. What I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. So 2 times 4 would be the answer to x here. And in that case, that means x must be equal to 8. Okay, so that should be my answer to x. All right, now moving on to my last example, I'm asked to find the missing terms here and here. Now, instead of using a constant of proportionality for this one, I'm going to use a different method. What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this three-term ratio, and below it, I'm going to write this equivalent three-term ratio. Okay, so this is going to be 30 to 70 to an unknown. Okay, here's what I do know right now. To get from 3 to 30, what can I multiply 3 by? And the answer would be 10. Now, what I do to this entity on the left, I have to do to the middle, and I have to also do to the right one. So I have to multiply by 10 here and by 10 here as well. Now, in this case, let's think about this. What is 11 times 10? That's going to be 77. Okay, now in this case, we can work backwards. What number can I multiply by 10 to get to 70? Or in this case, let's work backwards. 70 divided by 10 is 7. So this must be 7. So that means my missing terms are going to be 7. So I found one of my complete 3-term ratios, and the other missing term would be 77. So now this is my other complete 3-part ratio, and these are going to be equivalent because I can multiply each term here by the same number, which in this case is 10. So that's another way to also find the missing terms in equivalent ratios. And honestly, in an alternative way, you could have also solved these questions using that method as well. So let's say I just do an aside here. I had x to 28 and then 2 to 7. Just ask yourself this question: how do I get from 7 to 28? Well, I times by 4. And what I do to this side of the ratio, I do to this side as well. And now 2 times 4 is 8, so that means x also equals to 8 right away. That's an aside that can be shown here.